The woman on Milemarker 47. It was 2:17 a.m. when I crossed Milemarker 47 on Route 89, a long, empty highway that cuts through the forests of northern Pennsylvania. No streetlights, no houses, just endless black trees and fog hanging low like breath from something alive. My truck radio started crackling with static, even though I hadn't touched it in over an hour. That's when I saw her, standing on the side of the road. A woman in a long white dress, barefoot, hair covering her face, not moving, just watching my truck pass. I slowed down without realizing it. Every instinct told me to keep driving, but something about her felt wrong, unnatural. Her head slowly turned, following my truck, even after I passed her. In my side mirror, I saw her lift one arm and point down the road, toward the forest stretch ahead. My radio suddenly went dead silent. Not static, not noise, just silence. Thick, heavy, like the world had muted itself. 5 miles later, my engine stalled. No warning lights, no overheating, nothing, just dead. I pulled over, heart pounding, the forest pressing in on both sides. When I stepped out, the air felt colder than it should have been. Too cold for summer. I opened the hood, pretending I knew what I was doing, when I heard footsteps behind me, slow, wet, dragging sounds. Not boots, not shoes, bare skin on asphalt. I turned around, expecting to see a person. There was nothing there, but the footsteps kept coming. Closer, closer. Then I smelled it, rot, like a dead animal left in the sun too long. My truck door slammed shut on its own. The cab light flickered. Inside the windshield glass, a wet handprint appeared, from the inside. Long fingers. Thin. Inhuman. My radio suddenly turned on by itself. A woman's voice whispered, "You weren't supposed to stop." I ran. Didn't grab my phone. Didn't look back. Just ran into the forest, branches cutting my arms, lungs burning. Behind me, I heard whispering, dozens of voices, overlapping, crying, laughing, begging. Not human. Not animal. Something old. Something angry. Something hungry. When I woke up, it was morning. I was lying on the highway shoulder. My truck was gone. No skid marks. No debris. No signs it ever existed. Police reports said no accident. No breakdown call. No missing vehicle record. Nothing. Like it never existed. But every year, on the same date, at 2:17 a.m., my radio turns on by itself. And I hear her voice again. "You didn't listen." The police told me it was shock, exposure, hallucination. They said trucks don't just disappear, and people don't survive a night in those woods barefoot without hypothermia. But they couldn't explain one thing, why my boots were still in the cab of a truck that officially never existed. I saw them later in a photo taken by a rookie officer before the report was erased. Mud-stained, laced, untouched, like I had stepped out of my life and left everything behind. I tried to forget, move states, change jobs, stop driving nights, but Route 89 followed me, in dreams. Every night at 2:17 a.m., I'd wake up smelling rot, hearing dragging footsteps in my hallway. Sometimes I'd see wet footprints on my bedroom floor leading to the closet. Always barefoot, always stopping right at my bed. When I finally worked up the courage to open the closet, it was empty, except for a Milemarker reflector nailed to the wall. 47. I contacted another trucker who drove that route, an old-timer named Hank. He went quiet when I mentioned Milemarker 47. Then he told me the truth no one writes down. Over the last 30 years, at least 14 drivers vanished near that marker. Same pattern. Woman in white. Fog. Engine failure. Forest. No bodies. No trucks. Just one survivor, every decade. Always someone who stopped. Hank said the road used to cut through a burial site. Not native. Older. Settlers found bodies buried upright, mouths sewn shut, hands tied behind their backs. Women. Children. Travelers. All facing the road. Locals believed they were offerings. Watchers meant to guard something beneath the forest. When Route 89 was built, they paved right through it. And something woke up. I asked Hank why some survived. He said, because it lets one go, to spread the warning. That night, my radio turned on again, even though it wasn't plugged in. "Come back," she whispered. "You left something." The next morning, a map appeared on my kitchen table. Hand-drawn. burned edges. One route circled in red, Milemarker 47, and written beneath it, in shaky ink. I drove back. Against every instinct. Against logic. Against fear. Fog rolled in the moment I crossed state lines. My radio crackled, alive again. At 2:16 a.m., my headlights flickered. At 2:17, my engine shut off exactly where it had before. But this time, I didn't wait. She was already standing in front of the truck. Her hair lifted, revealing a face that wasn't decayed, just empty. No eyes. No mouth. Just smooth skin stretched tight. And when she leaned toward my window, I heard voices screaming from beneath the road. This story is about to get much darker. Underground chambers, trap souls, and the real reason trucks vanish. She didn't walk toward me. The road itself pulled her forward, asphalt rippling like skin. Cracks spread beneath her bare feet, and the ground breathed. I tried to open the truck door, but it wouldn't move. The radio screamed now, not static, but voices layered on top of each other. Men begging. Women sobbing. Children whispering numbers. 47. 47. 47. Her head tilted, and for the first time, a mouth opened, stretching wider than human bone should allow. The road split open. Not violently, gently, like it had been waiting. Beneath the asphalt was a staircase carved into black stone, soaked with moisture and something darker. Blood, old and fresh, mixed together. My truck sank silently into the opening, swallowed without a sound. The woman pointed downward. I realized then, the trucks weren't disappearing. They were being taken. Preserved. Stored. Like offerings in a shrine no one remembered building. I followed her, because at that point, there was no road left to run on. The tunnel walls were lined with faces, not carvings, not statues. Real people. Embedded in stone, eyes open, mouths stretched mid-scream. Some wore trucker caps. Some had modern clothes. Some were children. Their eyes followed me as I passed, leaking tears that ran upward, defying gravity. The deeper we went, the louder the whispering became, a choir of the trapped. At the bottom was a chamber the size of a football field. Dozens of trucks sat perfectly aligned, engines clean, headlights intact, frozen in time. Drivers stood beside them, unmoving, eyes open, bodies stiff. Not dead. Waiting. In the center stood something ancient, a massive figure buried from the waist down, stitched skin stretched over a shape that kept moving beneath it. It wasn't guarding the road. It was the road. The woman finally spoke, not with her mouth, but inside my skull. Every road needs watchers. Every watcher needs souls. She showed me the truth. Every decade, the thing beneath the highway weakened. It needed a survivor to spread the legend. Fear fed it. Curiosity fed it. People who searched fed it. And when fear wasn't enough, it took trucks, took lives, took time itself. I asked why she chose me. She answered, "You looked back." She reached into my chest. I felt hands inside my ribs, pulling something out that wasn't physical. My reflection appeared on the chamber wall, eyes hollow, skin pale, mouth sewn shut. I realized then, I wasn't being killed. I was being changed. When I woke up, I was standing on the roadside. Fog thick, night silent. A truck passed by, slowing down as it saw me. I lifted my arm and pointed down the road. Local records confirm a new disappearance every 10 years near Milemarker 47. One survivor. One warning. One new watcher. And if you ever drive Route 89 at night and see someone pointing ahead, don't stop. Don't look back. And whatever you do, don't follow. The last call from room 214.com. I was working the night shift at a small roadside hotel in Nebraska when the phone rang at exactly 3:33 a.m. No guests were supposed to be awake. No check-ins after midnight. The caller ID didn't show a room number, just 214. The problem was, room 214 had been sealed for 6 years. Fire damage. Structural issues. Or at least that's what management told us. When I picked up, the line was silent, until I heard slow breathing. Wet. Heavy. Like someone struggling not to drown. I whispered, "Front desk." The breathing stopped. Then a woman's voice said, "He's standing behind you." I dropped the phone. Spun around. The lobby was empty, but the security monitor flickered. Camera 214 came online for the first time since I'd worked there. The room appeared intact. No fire damage. Just a man standing in the corner, facing the wall. Tall. Too thin. His reflection in the mirror showed his face twisted backward, staring directly into the camera. The phone rang again. Same number. My hand shook as I picked it up. The woman was crying now. She begged me not to hang up. She said if the line went dead, he'd be allowed to move. I asked her who he was. She whispered, the one who checks out, but never leaves. The lights in the hallway outside the lobby flickered, one by one, leading straight to room 214. I tried to call my manager. No signal. My phone displayed only one contact, room 214. The woman screamed through the receiver as something slammed into the door from inside the room. The camera feed shook violently. The man's body bent in ways no spine should allow. His head rotated slowly until it faced the door, and then the handle began to turn. That's when the call disconnected. I ran. Didn't clock out. Didn't grab my keys. By sunrise, the hotel was surrounded by police. They said room 214 had reopened last night. One guest checked in. Paid cash. Name, mine. Security footage showed me unlocking the door at 3:34 a.m. I've never slept in a hotel since. Because sometimes, at 3:33 a.m., my phone rings. And the caller ID says, 214. I quit that job the same morning. Didn't argue. Didn't explain. I just left the uniform on the counter and walked out before anyone could stop me. 4 weeks, nothing happened. No calls. No dreams. I started to believe the hotel had been a hallucination. Stress, lack of sleep, imagination running wild. Then one night, at exactly 3:33 a.m., my voicemail notification appeared. I hadn't received a call. Just a message. From an unknown number. Length, 6 minutes, 14 seconds. I didn't listen to it right away. I made coffee. Sat down. Prepared myself. The message started with silence. Then the sound of a hotel keycard beep. A door opening. Footsteps on carpet. The woman's voice whispered my name. Perfectly. She said she was stuck in room 214 and had been calling the front desk for 6 years. Every time someone answered, the man got closer. Every time someone ignored the call, he finished what he started. I went to the city records office the next day. What I found made my stomach turn. Room 214 wasn't damaged by fire. It was sealed after a mass disappearance. Over a single winter, 11 guests checked into that room and never checked out. No bodies. No blood. Just personal items left behind. Shoes by the bed, suitcases still packed, phones plugged into chargers. The final report ended with one sentence typed in all caps. Do not answer calls from inside the room. Security tapes from 6 years ago still existed. Corrupted, but playable. I watched them alone in a back office. The footage showed guests entering room 214 normally. Hours later, the phone in the room would ring. When they answered, the man appeared in the mirror behind them. Always standing still. Always closer than before. The tape never showed him moving, only appearing nearer with each ring. On the final tape, the guest didn't answer. The man stepped out of the mirror. That night, my bathroom mirror fogged over by itself. Words appeared slowly, as if traced by a finger from the inside. Checkout is at 3:34. My phone rang immediately after. Caller ID, room 214. I understood then, the room doesn't stay in one place. It follows the last person who answered the call. The hotel was just the beginning. And now, it was my turn to host. At 3:32 a.m., every mirror in my apartment went dark. Not cracked. Not fogged. Just black, like glass filled with oil. My phone wouldn't stop vibrating. I didn't answer. I remembered the rule. Don't answer. The voicemail began recording on its own. From the speaker came the sound of breathing, not mine. Something else was inside the apartment now. I felt it before I heard it. The pressure, the way the air thickened like water. At 3:33, the mirrors changed. They showed a hotel room, room 214, but it wasn't empty anymore. People stood inside it. Dozens of them. Frozen mid-movement. Faces twisted in silent screams. I recognized some from the missing persons photos. Others were newer. Some were looking straight at me, begging without sound. And behind them, in the far corner, the man waited, taller now, shoulders brushing the ceiling. The woman's voice returned, softer this time. She told me the truth. The man was never a guest. He was a keeper. A thing born in reflections. Feeding on the moment people turn to look at themselves when they feel most alone. Hotels made him strong. Travelers, mirrors, isolation. Phones were just invitations. Every answered call let him step closer. Every unanswered call trapped someone else inside the room to take the hit for the world outside. At 3:34, the mirrors cracked, not outward, but inward. Hands pressed against the glass from the other side. The man stepped forward for the first time without a reflection. He didn't walk. He folded through space, unfolding in my living room like bad geometry. When he touched my shoulder, I felt every person he'd ever taken, stacked inside him, screaming through my bones. He leaned close and whispered, "You checked in when you listened." I survived because I did something no one else had done. I answered the phone, but not with my voice. I held it up to the mirror. The line screamed. The man froze. The room inside the glass collapsed inward, dragging him back with it. Every mirror in the apartment shattered at once. When the police arrived, they found me bleeding, surrounded by broken glass, and a hotel keycard in my hand. Room 214. Room 214 no longer exists in any hotel. But sometimes, at 3:33 a.m., phones ring with no caller ID. And if you answer, you might hear a woman whisper, "Don't look at the mirror." Because the room isn't a place anymore. It's a turn. If this story gave you chills, hit like, subscribe, and comment 214 so I know you're still watching.